Oh, we're live. Yay.
1, 2, 3. There we go. All right. We're just trying to figure out technology. We were wondering where all the humans were.
Yeah.
Bear with me and Yana. Okay, look. Now I see some activity, so that makes me at least okay. We're not talking to ourselves. Yeah, it says live on my end. It says live on yours. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody who has just joined us. We were apparently just chatting with ourselves, so I'll skip over a couple of those questions. But anybody that's new, me and Yana have had this conversation for the first time back on June 26th, so I'm happy to welcome her back. Since then, we've went from unscripted and unfiltered to the inner room, but I'm more focused on learning from this amazing woman. If you don't know her, if you've never seen her before, then you're apparently not on Substack. I don't know what's going on, but please go subscribe. She gives great advice on how to build your paid newsletter.
Thank you.
So with no further ado, Yana, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's always really great fun to be with you. So I'm really excited about this session today. Thank you.
I'm glad that we're actually live. Everybody that joined, Brittany, after Monday's wife, attention maps, Patricia, thank you. So if you don't know, me and Yana do have one thing in common. We are both Leos. And I am hoping to follow her success here in Substack, so that's why it's always a pleasure for me to pick her brain. Since our first interaction back in June, what has been the most surprising thing your life in life or work? Like what has happened? Anything new for you?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, I actually changed my job. I didn't share that publicly.
Oh wow. Well, congratulations. New opportunity, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, so now I'm now in a bank, so a director in a bank, doing basically the same again services business, again digital content,
Right.
advertising, things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. But yeah, so before that I was in the telecom. Now I'm in the banking. Really
Right.
close but different, very, very different.
Well, I'm hoping obviously that this opportunity then with the bank is something that you're obviously excited about and have worked towards or something, a goal of yours. That's it. Well, congratulations. I'm glad you just kept that little secret from everybody. So with that being said, how do you do it? Like, how do you balance your regular day life with everything that you have here, like on Substack? How do you continue to grow both?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't.
You just do it. Do you ever sleep?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
You just have to do what has to be done and to move forward. I think most of the people who are not actually making it in whatever they are trying to do, it's because they're procrastinating or not actually doing what's necessary to be done. So you grow by action. That's it.
I mean, I love that. I think a lot of people are sometimes though scared of like or overwhelmed, right? Because I have like my own type of ADHD and it definitely can overwhelm me sometimes. So I'm very new to not just Substack, but to writing and to like self-promoting and I don't ever want to sound like a salesperson, right? Like it's hard for me to be that way. So it definitely has probably taken me a lot longer than some other people, especially ones that utilize your platform and pay for your subscription to continue to grow because it's more, I guess, natural and like, I don't know, like slow burn type of season over here. Like I'm not here selling anything truly to anybody, but like my friendship and my like, here's a hug from the internet. Like I see you, I hear you. So my success rate is going to be, I feel like a little bit different, but I've enjoyed it here. I really have. So again, thank you for being here. Any lessons or aha moments from the last couple of months you'd like to share?
Before that, probably yes. But before that, can I say something about?
Yeah, of course.
So it's because it's my favorite kind of statement. So I'm not selling anything, but actually, anybody could monetize anything because we are always, as humans, we are always selling ideas to other humans, and if those ideas are changing their lives in a way, it's already a monetizable material.
I get that. I also get what you're saying, and I do. It's like I don't want to feel like it, but sometimes I feel like my Substack is like by a friend. Like I'm just gonna be this genuine human that's gonna be there for you to help you get through
And that's
whatever you're
already
getting through.
great.
You
That's
know,
already great. Yeah.
but that's what I'm just like. I don't know if anybody's really gonna pay for this, but we'll do it. And that's why having you is so important for me to remember that I do offer something. I do
You
have
do.
something that I give, and it is worth monetizing. But it's definitely something that I struggle with. So that's why I keep bringing you back.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Oprah is making a lot of money.
I keep thinking about those talk shows like Oprah or even Ellen. Like she made a lot of money when she still makes a lot of money, but
Yeah. I mean, of course, why not? So when you become the Oprah of Substack,
that's sweet of you. I know that's what we joked around that. I'm trying. I really am
fingers
trying
crossed. Fingers crossed. And
but
I'm always here to help. It's
I
just
know. I do. I really appreciate you. You're a very humbled human being, and Substack is very thankful to have you here. Because there are some people, like I said, that are me that are not necessarily scared, but just overwhelmed and don't
yeah,
really understand what we're selling. We just know
yeah,
that we need to write, and we just know that our words will hit the people that they need to hit. You know.
yeah.
I do have. I am working on a book though, so I think that Substack for me has just become.
Great.
I'm creating a network, so when my book does get published there's already X, Y amount of people that would be more than interested in actually purchasing it. So,
That's the
um,
yeah.
right? I think that's the reason why I started it. It was like there's a bigger purpose. I need to make sure that if I put a book out there, somebody's gonna fucking buy it. you know? But real
Yeah.
quick, Leora writes, I struggle with this too. So happy you're discussing it. Yeah, I think it's important because Yana's right. Like what she does and what she brings to Substack is its own niche and it's very necessary for here. But I mean, she does remind me that humans like it's okay to sell your humanity. It's okay to be a good person and still make money from it, you know?
We are always selling something. It's just the framing of sales is something that people don't really relate to, not at least not naturally. But
Right.
actually, we are doing this. It's not if we remove the sales word, it's influence. So you are influencing other people to take some action, and we are doing that from from the moment that we are born on this earth. Basically, every
I mean,
child is
the fact
influencing.
that you have framed that like that is beautiful because it doesn't just take that word influencer like the way that I think of it for TikTok or Instagram, but it really takes it as like, holy shit. We all observe by seeing. We all observe by
Yes,
watching and stuff like that. And we do influence each other. Like I have been a part of crowds that influenced me to do things that maybe if I
exactly.
wasn't with them or exposed to that, I wouldn't be a part of it. So wow, the way that you just framed that just blew my mind, and I feel like I don't even need to ask any more questions. No, just kidding. But Berta says that she loves that I say when and not if. Yeah, I'm not I'm definitely here for a purpose and I know that and I will write a book. I'm working on the book. It's not like I'm just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to write a book." No, like I have like things created already. It takes time, especially
Of
my
course.
kind of book. um all right, so let's get into some of your work and mindset type of questions. So I obviously know
Can
it's
I say something, cause I just thought
yeah,
I
go
got so
ahead.
many ideas while talking with you. So recently, it's a story about one of my conversations with the people that I work. So this person was telling me that they're gonna write a book and they're gonna publish probably this year. And we were talking about Substack and how it will be with subscriber benefits and paid benefits and so on. And then I was asking, okay, so this book is going to be published this year, and are you going to publish another book, and when? And then he just looked at me and said, Yana, did you ever write a book?
Well, I think he called you out. So I mean, have you? I don't think so, right?
No,
I
I
mean, you
mean, not
should
that
write a book though.
it takes years.
I mean, it depends on what kind. Like for me, it's a very a lot of research goes into stuff, so it,
Yes.
it could it could definitely take some time.
Yes.
But that's a great story. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I needed these laughs today, so I'm so glad that you're with me. All
So I
right,
always love the energy that we have with you, with our lives. It's so much fun always.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I do feel like I try to treat you, I guess, in a certain type of lane, but you do have a very playful side to you, and I don't know why. I don't know how to like keep that tapped in. But everybody that's joining, Billy, Lons, Coffee, thank you. We're just getting started. We're just laughing through our life because
Yeah.
why not? You
Okay. I
you
let
have
you
okay,
go
so
ahead.
you have two subscriptions.
Yes.
One of them, like I said, was it the Gut Time or something?
Yeah.
Have a gut time. That's always going to be your free one. So I always like to pull a lot of information from those, obviously, because like
Yeah.
that's easy for me. You had in your post about quitting, you mentioned knowing when to pivot. How do you decide when something is worth giving up versus persisting?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's why I wanted to write this. Um, because there's always a very thin line between quitting and continuing, because you always, you are only losing when you give up. So you don't have to give up. You must not give up. You have to go on and so on and so on. But sometimes, actually, in order to move forward, you need to quit the initiatives or the projects that you have started that are not moving you closer to your goal, and that's really hard to identify sometimes. But and especially if you get emotionally attached to the project that you are working on, and you never know. But if you stay only in this frame, so I in order to decide, I always look at data, and
Yeah,
data says everything.
statistics. Yeah, I mean, and I do think it's eye opening. So what do you? So I know a lot of people use ChatGPT. So we'll just if you have your own and you don't have the ones that you have, but you have
Yeah.
your own, what is something that you would ask Chat to kind of help you digest some of the numbers that Substack gives you?
Oh, yes. So I have asked it several times to analyze my posts and also my notes, and it's an amazing way to actually analyze your performance. But first, you have to be able to export your notes and also your posts, and for that, I'm using the From extensions of Fintropy, and we just recently also created a mutual a collaboration product. So the two of you created one Chrome extension where
Right.
where it's for notes. So it includes my custom GPT for writing notes and his scheduling tools for notes, and also analysis and export. So you can use this Chrome extension and export your notes data and then feed it to ChatGPT and ask it to simply analyze. So the question, it's very important, the prompt that you use.
Yeah.
And the question that I use in this prompt is always something like this. So please take a look at this data, and this data has to be very well structured, and the names of the data has to be very, you know, uh, named in a proper way so that it understands what the data is. And then I ask it, please look at this data, and try to analyze the best performing nodes, and best performing nodes would be those nodes who have more than 100 likes, and compare them to the lowest performing nodes, and that would be the nodes that have less than 50 likes, and forget everything in between, and
Mm.
compare those groups, and tell me and create me a comparative analysis in a table on this on all of the important criteria, if you don't want to give it the criteria, but I also
Right.
like to give it the criteria, and let me know uh, what 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 are the differences, what makes those nodes successful and what makes the other not successful. And that's the prompt. And you upload this Excel or CSV file or whatever the file is with the data, and you'll be amazed, actually.
I mean, okay, Monday's wife says use Nevo, but I think sometimes this is like the answer that the humans need is okay, we have a lot of heart attached to the things that we're doing, especially
Yeah,
in Substack. So I may not want to stop writing about a certain thing, but that certain thing is not producing in a way that is successful for my well-being at all, like at this
yeah,
point in it. So it's just like The only way that I'm gonna stop doing that is if something like data analysis tells me like, no, this is literally just a waste of time. Like
Exactly.
you're literally just wasting your time. So you can still write this, but you don't have to publish it on this space because it's not helping you at all. So I
Yeah.
think being able to have that, it will definitely help a lot of people
Yeah.
understand that line because it is very thin. Like I don't want to just give up. Like I could, if I give up today, tomorrow could have been my breakthrough. Like that's
Yeah.
how I always see a lot of things. Like damn,
Yeah. Yeah.
so a lot being allowed to have like that type of format, must be nice. So I don't know. Do you know what Nevo is? Because I do not.
Me too. What is Nibo?
Okay, Monday's wife, you gotta talk us a little bit more about
Yeah.
this. We don't know what this is, ma'am. You can't just drop that and leave, okay?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I also did this same analysis while I was writing on Medium, and that's how I actually understood. So back then, I was thinking that writing about artificial intelligence is the driver of my growth because every time I posted a post about AI, it kind of went viral, like distributed around. It got really a lot of reads and likes, and also brought me some money. But when I uploaded all of my Medium data to ChatGPT and asked it to create the very same analysis, then I understood actually that some other types of posts are getting bringing me much more revenues, even with more views compared to the AI. And the AI is actually not. It brings me a lot of views, but it's not bringing me that much money. And then I
Right,
said,
so it's
okay,
more like the AI is bringing you the views, but not the
yeah.
revenue. So it's
Yeah.
like people are looking at it, but it's not enticing anybody to join you.
Exactly, and that's how I understood. I said, okay. Back then, my intention was to really deep dive into AI and I write predominantly about this. And then when I did this analysis, it made me like I had this like aha moment. Like I was, oh, so I will keep the AI for growth, but then I have to have something else to actually monetize better.
Yeah, a different substance, right? Because we're all
Yeah.
addicted to something. um,
Yes.
Monday's wife said, "I didn't know I needed to use data analysis." Wow, but she says it's for analysis of quantified data. So it's just another
Yeah.
app to input some data to get some analysis. Yeah, apparently. I mean, I think about it, and I'm like, fucking sports teams are using analytics. Like
Yeah.
those are multi-billion-dollar teams that are like, "Oh, yeah, well, this computer told me to run this play at this time. And look, we won the game." So, like,
Yeah.
if it's doing that for, like and we can see that, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you believe that it would help your own growth here on Substack? Obviously.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
has lots of potential. Um, let's see. You talk about content automation and working smarter, not harder. How do you decide what's worth automating?
I would automate anything that I could, everything.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
get that. I got that. I
No,
get that.
yeah. I really prefer to have much more time for thinking and ideating, strategizing, and writing also, but not the boring stuff. No, it's killing me. It's
Yeah.
killing me.
So how do you find the balance between the boring stuff that you do to giving
Mhm.
yourself the creative time to still do the things that you enjoy?
Yeah, I try to keep the boring stuff at the minimum, but I also only do all of the things that I really have to do and are absolutely necessary for me to grow. And the rest, I simply procrastinate. Yes, a lot.
Well, good. So you sound like a good Leo because that is a character trait of us. We do
Yes.
procrastinate, but the things that we enjoy doing, we will be really
Yeah.
good at, and
Yeah.
we'll do it very quickly. So
Yeah.
because we don't want to do it.
Yes.
There you go. Right? Oh, okay. So I'm so glad we are alike in that ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, you write that humans are processes constantly changing. How do you remind yourself of that in daily life?
Yeah, that's also one of my favorites. So we tend to add like labels to humans, like because of the first impression. You know, it's always that's why people say your first impression is always the most important one, and then you cannot change that. It's always whatever the impression is, and then people like perceive you in the very same way, and they don't change their perception about you, and that's a problem actually, because if you think about it, if you deep dive really into human nature, because of neuroplasticity, which is the thing that makes us grow and change and
Right.
and better people, of course. Some may be worse, but that those are
Right.
not good.
We all get to choose between good and evil. Some of us,
Yeah.
walk a fine line sometimes, but that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically how this works is that because every experience that we face is actually impacting our um, our being in all of the way, our brains and the way we think, the way that we behave and everything. And we decide that. And that also means that we are changing. We are constantly changing. That's why I like to say that we are actually processes. We are not stable, rigid creatures
Right.
that can be labeled. And it's very, actually, it's kind of stupid to say something like, "Oh, this person is, stupid or genius or." Um, I don't know, or even if you say beautiful, that also changes. you know?
And I think, but beautiful isn't unanimous. Like, not everybody is going to think the same person is,
Yeah,
because
and also,
we all have different eyes, right? So I mean, come
yeah,
on.
exactly. And I've seen that very much, and also in my job. So one and the same person, and I remember very well a speech from Simon Sinek, and he was also explaining this very well. And when I heard him talking about this, I also remembered so many examples from my experience. So one and the same person, different situations, different, boss or leader, and it's a completely different person. So in one environment, this person is very open and very talkative and very positive and very outgoing and engaging with people. And if we are talking about work, then this person is a productive person and also very efficient, and you could say even high achiever, top performer. And then in a different environment, you could see a completely different behavior from the very same person. It could be a matter of days, actually, just simply because of the environment, because we change based on our perceptions and experiences all of the time. And then if you say in the first situation, if you say that this person is a high achiever or top performer or some kind of alien or
Well, right,
or
yeah.
super successful. Yes, that's why also the definition of successful people is not really accurate to label them as successful, because in the very next situation they can be a total failure, and it's actually happening to a lot of people because you are because yes because we are with every new thing that we face that we want to do. So for every new task that we need to do, we are beginners. And the more mature in your life you become, every new beginning that you take is harder and harder, just simply because you are used to be you get this you're stacking this experience of an expert, so a person who knows how to do stuff. And then in the next situation you basically have no clue how to do this thing, and you will look like
The way that you have just shaped all of that is brilliant. I want you to understand, because I don't know how somebody who just sat here and listened to you doesn't understand what you just said, because it is so true. We are ever evolving, and our environment, the people that we're surrounded by, they all play an active role in how we present ourselves. So I love the way that you just said literally all of that. That just blew my fucking mind. I just wanted to welcome real quick, hi, Mark, Jody, and Alan. Berta says we hope we get better. I mean, most of us, I feel like, do. I do feel like, again, I want to believe that most humans out here are trying to continue to improve themselves to the best of their abilities. I always tell people I don't know what I don't know. So if you're not willing to communicate to me honestly and directly, like, hey, you shouldn't say that, or hey, this bothered me this way, or hey, blah blah, this is how this something you said made me feel, that I will never know. Right? So like, it's important that we can all have conversations to help each other's growth, because my intentions is to never offend or insult anybody. But I'm also very bold in the way that I speak, and I don't hold back. So it's just
Yeah.
like, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, whether it's what you want to hear. And then because of that, sometimes guess what I'm labeled as?
Yeah. Yeah. I can
Right?
imagine.
But it's
I
just
can.
it's right, it's just but it's the honest truth, like, I'm not gonna sit here and side with you because that's what you want me to do, and that's
Yeah.
why I have no friends, just so everybody knows. 'Cause it's very hard because some people aren't ready to see themselves the way that I allowed them to see themselves, so
Yeah.
it is beautiful what you just said, though. Whew.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I actually, so I'm not just hoping. I actually I'm pretty convinced that most of the people are doing everything out of good intention to do good, to themselves or to other people who they care for. And even if they're doing something which some other people would perceive as something wrong, these people are actually perceiving it as the right thing to do at the very moment in that very situation.
That's true.
And it's very difficult to because I always, when I speak about this, I'm always careful with who I'm speaking, because people tend to speak back and start asking me, okay, but what about criminals? What about this and that and killers? And so people who are doing really really bad stuff. Well,
But I
actually,
always but I but I always say even the people doing really bad stuff went through really bad stuff before they got there. Any human being could have been nice enough to see them before they got to where they got, and they weren't, and they never got that. So then they're the monsters, but I'm just like, but you have no idea their story, their past, their patterns.
exactly.
You could have anybody could have saved them by just seeing
Yeah,
them. And that's how crazy life could be sometimes is,
yeah, it
you know.
is. And also the
Whew.
intention of this action is usually something positive from their perception,
Yep.
personal perception. Yeah.
Yep. Leora writes, I love that though. Full frontal assault is so much better than to hear about it from another.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And I love that you said it there. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to someone preparing to monetize? Is there a magic time or subscriber number to shoot for?
Whoa, no, 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 no. Actually, you should start as of day one with, even with just one subscriber, and that would be probably yourself.
But a lot of people are very unsure of that. A lot of people go in and like, no, I'm
Yeah.
gonna just be free for a while. I'm gonna build my community and then I'll
No.
turn the paid on. And you're
Okay.
saying like just do it from the jump.
Yeah, from the start. So yeah, the best advice that I would give is not to wait for a certain number of subscribers or a certain amount of time, but make sure that you have enough good reasons for people to become paid, and that would be like enough, at least three. So we have three, three places where we put paid subscriber benefits. So if we're talking about paid newsletter monetization and not digital products, so if we're talking about paid newsletter, so you have to make sure that you have enough paid content before you start monetizing, because if you only announce what you plan to do in the future and you haven't done anything of that yet, when you enable payments, you're not going to get any paid subscribers.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I'm sure a lot of people don't even like think of it from that context either. So I thank you for pointing that out. Leora says, oops, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I said, again, this is all advice, but I think it's smart advice. Obviously it's advice that has been tested and is
Yeah.
it's thriving. um, but thanks for joining Winter K. It is interesting. I also fell into that trap. And I think what I had to do was really figure out, well, what is going to fall under paid and what is going to still be for my free
Yeah.
subscribers. And I think
Yeah.
once you start having those conversations with yourself and putting it all out there, because there, like you said, there's multiple places on your Substack that allows you to communicate what you're offering for what tier, essentially. Um, and I think it's important that you, like you said, you have the product available so people can see what they're
Yeah.
really getting. So I think that that's, how do
So
you
if you have deep dive. for example. Like if you say, I'm going to do deep dives and workshops and some tools I'm going to share and some courses, then you have to have at least one of all of those published in your publication behind the paywall so that people can see what they're actually paying for.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. But I, like most people, and I am finding that like I started in March, and the people that I started with are the people that I'm subscribed to and are in my circle and stuff. But then there are the ones that are still like I'm trying to get to my first 100 that are in that bubble with me, and it's just
Yeah.
like we're all kind of helping each other like through conversations, like pulling up like this is how you navigate it because it is kind of like it's just like here you have a Substack subscription.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to learn from people like yourselves and other people before me that it got here that had already established it, and people do have blueprints. So if your niche is something like Yana's, where you want to help educate people about how to do this, then you follow her and you follow other people like her, and you start to see the blueprint of the success. That's how I see it. There's people before me that have had diary style successes and have big inner circles of a community that they have homegrown, and why wouldn't I want to see how they did it? So I subscribe to them, I follow them, I interact with their community because that's how you build, you network, you grow
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
She does say she truly appreciates the advice. All right, so let's see, how do you balance efficiency with creativity so your work still feels authentic?
Yeah. I tend to believe that those are two separate sides of my brain working together.
That's I mean those are good sides of brains though, I'll be honest with
Yes.
you.
Yes, but over time, and I think it was big part of it is because of my 9 to 5 job, I trained myself to be able to efficiently work on a very high speed with both sides of my brain.
Well,
I don't know. I know scientists.
we need to test that, You
Well, there's downside. There's a downside. You cannot immediately switch. So
right,
there is time that you could be creative, and there is time that you could be, you can be, uh,
efficient.
efficient. Yes, and it's for me. I tend to believe that it's a for me to simplify it. For me, it's a thinking time and doing time. So
Mm.
you want to separate those, and when you I always try to do the thinking first and then the doing after, otherwise you're in deep shit.
I mean, they do tell me you're supposed to, think before you say something. So I would assume you
It's a
should
good
think before you
example.
do, right? But some people don't, some people do, and then they think about it later, and that's how they learn. So, to each his own.
It's also I mean, yes, if the risk is low,
Right. Right.
of course you
Yeah.
should do it, and then you learn from the action, because that's how we learn best, actually. But yeah, other than that, yeah. So if you separate those, it's actually a productivity technique. I don't remember the name, but it's a very popular productivity technique. I just figured it out for myself. I didn't know this technique. I learned it after later.
I just came up with it. I came up with
Yeah,
it in my sleep.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
You're
And
an extremely intelligent woman. Like
and the other thing is that when you focus on one thing to do something, so don't try to do 10 different other things
So
around it.
you're saying multitasking is not real.
It's not real. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not real.
You're
No,
good. Yeah. So not every because there's no way that you can be good at doing 5 things at one time.
no. You only have 2 hands. You can type uh, one thing at a time. You cannot type 10 things at a time. If somebody can do it.
I mean, I have always sworn that I'm a great multitasker, but was I giving 100% of myself to each thing? No. And if I wasn't, then I probably didn't do the best that I could have done
Oh,
in that type of essence. I feel like there's no way that I can do 5 things at once and give 100% to each one of them. That's not
that's
possible.
true. So I think those are maybe it's there's a slight difference, because you could have like 5 priorities at a time, and that if that's something that you can call multitasking, then that's okay. But when it comes to doing, you have to always do one after the other. You cannot do them in simultaneously.
And this at the same time. I get it.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh, all right. Well, how do you balance pursuing ambitious goals while keeping joy and energy intact?
yes, energy is the most valuable resource that we have, and it's connected to stress levels. So the more energy you have, the less stress you have. So I try to make sure that I have high levels of energy. If and whenever I feel that they are starting to drain, so I just switch off.
How
From
long does it take you to actually switch off? Because like there'll be times where I'll be like, "All right, Marlena, it's 9 p.m. and you can't even it just stop. Just put the phone down. Like there's no more reading. There's no more just sit and just like sit. Just
yeah,
focus on TV. Like just pay attention to this for
yeah,
20 minutes. It's like I feel like I'm in prison. I'm like I have a hard it takes me a while to like shut down. Like I have to utilize like a game
yeah,
or something for my brain to like just like, all right, unwind. You've been wired the whole day, like just shut off.
yeah.
Cool. So I was just curious, how long does it take you to actually shut off?
That's also something that you could train your brain to shut off faster. I am using one app for meditation to train. It's actually it's a technique, and now it's gonna probably get scary, but it's a technique for mind control.
Mm. Well, like, but you're not using it for others, you're using it on yourself. So we'll just
I'm not gonna say anything here.
yeah.
I'm not gonna
Listen, subliminal messaging has been around forever, so I don't know what you're talking about.
say. We are doing this ever since. I think it's one of the human of the most natural human trait is to influence others. But there's a big difference between influence and manipulation and mind
Again, I think
control.
the line is fine. I just think there's a fine line, you know? That's how
Yeah,
I mean.
it's
I
very fine.
Oh man, this is funny.
But you could actually
I know.
understand. It depends. So whenever you're doing something good for the other person, then it's influence. But if you're doing something bad for the other person, then it's manipulation. So that's a very clear line. The problem is according to who.
Right. And that's subjective, I feel like. So
Very
depending on
subjective.
context.
Yes, and
Yeah,
the problem is also that when you're very good at influencing other people, then you're also good at making them feel and believe that whatever they're doing is good for them,
right.
and that's
I've
make
always see like and I'll be very human like right now. I have people have called me manipulative and I'm like, "Oh, really?" Like I would never think that cuz I never try to manipulate people into anything that I wouldn't think is what they wanted,
yeah.
you know? So it's not so but I don't think that I am like in a devious way like I'm how can I make this person like that? I think it's just my energy naturally, the way that I communicate or talk or something might influence somebody in a way that, and then all of a sudden, if it didn't work out in the way that they hoped or the way that I pictured it, now I manipulated them to do something that they didn't want to do, and I'm just like, wait, what?
No.
I give pictures. I don't know,
Well,
but I was
actually,
like,
if
I
about
I
it,
I I don't mind calling myself out. That's the thing.
that's that's actually that's a behavioral pattern. It's about I didn't write about this yet in my other publication, but so it's about blaming others and not taking personal responsibility. And there is it is so it's also very common for human behavior to do that. But actually, for our actions and decisions, we are responsible for ourselves. So we don't owe anything to anyone, and no one owes anything to us.
Right.
Basically, whatever decision that we take, it's our own responsibility. And if we are taking a decision because of the influence of somebody else, it's still
Still
your
my decision. Yeah. So I've had this conversation 1,000 times when I came to my addiction because a lot of people that were close to me, like quote unquote family members or quote unquote friends, were very like, no, this one friend turned you this way. And I'm like, she never forced anything. Yeah, was I around a lot of drugs? Absolutely. Did I have my own was it my decision to try them at some point? Yeah. Were they offered to me? Yeah. Did I say no? Yes. But at a point I also said yes.
yeah.
And that's for me to own. It's not anybody else's fault for that. But they're like, "But if you were never," but that doesn't matter. Again, I chose to be friends with this person. the whole time. So it's still my choices. So I very much can see what you mean like that, but I do also see how it is hard for some other people to not get to that point to understand that either. It is sometimes just very easy to be like it's that person's fault.
Yes.
And I have been that way. It definitely took me going through other life things for me to be like, all right, time out. My life keeps going to shit, and there's got to be more. It can't be everybody else's fault, right? Like I had to finally notice, like I'm obviously not making the right decision. So, you know, it all depends on where you are at and what you're and where you, and what how you see things. That's just how I feel. All right, so we probably got like 10 more minutes or so. I do want to for anybody that's still with us, I appreciate everybody being with us, obviously. I always enjoy having a great conversation with Yana, but I wanted to actually have some fun for the end of it with chat engagement. If you could ask the people in the room one question about themselves right now to spark growth or reflection, what would it be?
I don't know.
um,
Oh, I have one favorite question that would be, what would you do if you had all of the resources and time and energy in the world? So if there's nothing stopping you from doing anything, what would you do?
I actually love that question. I've also asked that too because I'm like I think money stops a lot of people, or is the reason why people say no, I can't do this because I don't have like money, whatever the case may be. But I honestly feel like writing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I can totally see myself for the rest of my life traveling, seeing,
Yeah.
writing, reflecting, helping, growing, visiting, community, like doing all of these like interactions with real communities that have followed my own journey. I have somehow with my words helped them through theirs, and I can totally see that. So I know for me that right now what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to, if I had the resources, then I would dedicate a lot more time. I wouldn't do Uber. Like that would that subscription probably wouldn't exist, right? Because
Yeah.
I have the diary of an Uber driver, but I mean that would be the only difference of my life is that I wouldn't have to do Uber anymore, and that honestly that would be a blessing, honestly. But I mean, if anybody in the chat wants to open up and has a question for Yana before we leave, obviously you guys are more than welcome to ask. This isn't just my 20
Yeah.
questions. This could be anybody. She is obviously here to continue to help grow anybody. And if you are unaware, if this is the first time you even hearing Yana's name on Substack, please give her a nice follow or subscribe, anything. She does have, like I said, she does have a great free newsletter that I actually sometimes genuinely enjoy those better, for my own purposes and stuff like that. But Have a Gut Time is great. Unplugged is, where you get a lot of her resources and her data analysis and her chat GPT help and all the things you should know about notes and why they're so important to Substack.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if anybody's in, you can have fun asking a question. I do have a couple other ones, but I wanted to give people the opportunity because I don't know how often others get a chance to ask you questions. I know you do highlight. Is it monthly or is it monthly? Like whoever wins your that you bring on.
Yeah, it's monthly. Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that program because somebody in here might be interested or unaware of it.
Yeah, yeah. So I do challenges for writing and notes, and every month I select one person for from notes challenge and also from writing challenge to do a spotlight with me where we talk about their Substack, and then I distribute it to my entire subscriber base and also my social media accounts, so that to give that person more exposure and hopefully help them grow. So
It's funny
yeah.
that you said that because I actually forgot. How much do you use other social media accounts to grow your Substack?
Not as much as I want to, but I have been testing for like posting different things, not the quality that I wanted. And right now, unfortunately, because of the boring stuff, and
Right.
I want.
If you had unlimited resources, you would definitely have spent more time doing it differently, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's one thing that I'm trying and I figured how to actually automate with using some AI agents and an app called make.com. It's an automation tool, basically like Zapier, where I'm just now working on the quality of the content because it's not so good yet, but so I have to improve the AI agents. But ideally, I would I would have it take my latest post and turn it into social media posts and post it automatically.
So I just started using Instagram. And not in like a photo way, like it's just on my stories. Like I was trying to figure out how can I cross and get myself a little bit more visibility without being a cliche type on that platform, if that made sense. So what other platforms would you recommend for your continued
I
subscription growth?
Yeah. So Instagram is very good example because I the reason why I tested this is because I wanted to see what kind of engagement, like organic engagement, I would have without me staying or spending time on that platform in any way. I didn't spend like 5 minutes at all at any platform, and Instagram was one of those platforms. The other one was YouTube. So I started being more active on YouTube because YouTube also have a very nice monetization, and it's also integrated to Substack, and it could be a very good subscriber source for growth. It could also work very well with Substack. So whenever I'm posting like a new video, I could send it to my subscribers as well, so that they generate me some views and so on. So it's gonna be working. I see how it's gonna be working really well. Instagram. Um, because of the images in the videos. So now I'm thinking to maybe repurpose my YouTube videos and post on Instagram
Hmm.
so that I take some advantage of that organic engagement. But on the other so I tried X, LinkedIn and Facebook, and there I didn't get anything. So you have to spend the time on the platform in order to get some engagement or pay them for ads, ideally. So which is something that I don't want to do. But for you, I would say Instagram, and also why not TikTok or YouTube?
I don't know. I mean, I do agree. Like, okay, so I feel like I spend hours on Substack. So it takes that type of commitment to grow a
Yeah,
community on Substack. You also need that same amount of time
yeah,
on any of these other platforms. I feel like you, per what you're
yeah,
saying, because there needs to be showing some engagement for people to give a shit about what you're posting.
yeah, exactly. So you are already creating on Substack, and so like me, so it's very easy to take an article and turn it into a video. It's very easy, basically. And then the other thing is those lives that we have right now, or videos that we create, like for example, my spotlight sessions.
Right.
It's very easy to break them into shorter clips and post them on Instagram and also on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. It's
Hmm.
a low hanging fruit, I
I
think.
mean, I guess so. I mean,
Yeah,
I know we had talked about it. I have not thought about I have not thought about YouTube because I haven't had any I have not done anything ever with YouTube. So I was like, I don't know how to do YouTube. I don't know about YouTube, but I know that
oh,
it's there. I know that it's something that I could definitely use in the future, and that's I think the cool thing about the era that
you know what? So I have somewhere here a whole guide. It's like one page with about 20 things that you need to follow on YouTube so that you rank better. Like for in the search results, that would be like thumbnail, title, descriptions, keywords, um, um, playlist, and so on. But there is an app, and I'm not affiliate, so all of those tools that I'm mentioning right now, it's not. But there is a VIDIQ. That's the name of the app, and it makes it very easy. So it's a Chrome extension. It's a paid app, but when you install it, it has a free version. But when you install the paid version, it basically makes it very easy for you to optimize, and then it gives you also a score, an optimization score.
right.
And it's very convenient. If you know nothing about YouTube optimization, this is the app I would
Well,
recommend.
I mean, so you said it's VIDIQ, VID.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I might have heard of it, and I think again, it's just about educating myself enough about these other applications that are assistants basically because at the end of the day you're paying these apps to help you with time. Like I'm saying it'll help me gather all my stuff and put everything out there a lot easier for me than for me trying to figure it out how to do it my damn self every day. So
Much easier. Yes, yes.
I totally get it. All right. Well, I have one last question before I let you leave me. And then until next time, you know how much
Yeah.
I enjoy you. Can you walk us through your favorite exercise, the 3 most important questions, and how it shows up in your daily life?
Oh, yes. Okay. So you're talking this exercise that I am mentioning in my, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the three most important questions, the three most important questions exercise is by Vishnu Lakiani, and he is promoting. It's very popular. It's a viral video on YouTube. You could search it. But basically, it says so. Whenever we are as humans, we are setting ourselves goals. Most of the time, they're mostly means goals and not an end goal. So it's not the actual thing that you want to achieve, but it's more about getting to the resource to help you get a step further or closer to something else. And it's very difficult for us to identify what's that something else because it's not tangible most of the time. And he gives those three questions as an exercise to identify those three, like there are three areas according to him where where ideally your end goal, your your um actual real goal is. And from my experience, I would relate that to internal and external motivation. So it's always whenever you're doing from internal motivation, it's usually connected to one of those three things. And whenever you're doing something from external motivation, whether it's somebody wants you to do it or you do it because you want to please somebody else or to comply with something like society norms or something like that, but you don't really believe in that. It's not really helping you get closer to that goal. And those three questions are, what do you want to experience? You see, it's not very tangible.
Yeah.
And it's very sometimes very difficult to answer. And then the other thing is, how do you want to grow? So
Right.
who do you want to become, and how that's learning, the learning path. So your growth, basically personal growth. And then the third one is how he said it's contribution to the society, but it's also basically about belonging. It's connected to other people. So how do you feel um useful to the society or helping other people or um, like contributing to the
Yep.
group that belong to, because there is an internal human need to do that, because we are social animals, and because this social kind of behavior is very deeply tied to our survival mechanisms. um,
I think I'm literally just learning this, and I took that question from so if you guys don't know it, again, Have a Gut Time is her
yeah.
free, subscription, and it's called The Carrot or the Stick, and I love that post, and it's a 1-minute read, it's super easy, but again, the depth of what you're saying, like, sometimes you can't even see your carrot, so it might just
Yeah.
be a stick.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
like, so it is I mean, every aspect of the way that your brain works, I can appreciate, and, I thank you so much for being here, honestly, you know how much I adore you? If you don't, please know that I adore you so much.
Me too. Likewise, mutual. I will do.
I know, you're always
I
like you
like.
always come back. I mean, I was hoping that, like, after this one, you would still feel like, you would wanna come back because I don't know. I love having people return. I think, again, everything that I'm trying to build here is about a community, and I love that sometimes my community wouldn't maybe know how to even find you. So it gives them an opportunity to continue to feel motivated that they are able to achieve the things that they wanna achieve here, because of people like you that allow a lot of resources to help them. So it is always a pleasure talking with you. I don't know if anybody had a question because we didn't see anybody, but I saw Kathy and Robert joining at the end. I hope anybody that has been with us has enjoyed this. I do post the replays the next day, and unfortunately, they're for my paid subscribers. So you're lucky that you caught it live, mother cluckers. I hope you had a notebook. Yana, honestly, I don't want to keep you because I know you're always on a busy schedule, but I appreciate your time as always, and happy belated birthday again, and I hope the rest of 2025 continues to treat you the way that it started. And I will eventually see you at number one. And you're a great asset to this community, and I definitely appreciate having you here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure for me too, and I'm
A
definitely
thousand times over, you know it. And for everybody that's been with us, thank you. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. Happy September. And I hope you have a great day. All right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.